Let's now try to put pumping lemma into practice and work with a few examples. So I'm just taking an example and showing you certain problems with proving that the pumping lemma holds for some language. It might pretty be difficult to prove that pumping lemma holds for a language, while proving that it doesn't hold for a language is easier. As an example, let's take a language L. We have a language here, I guess, right. So let's take this language L omega, where the length of W is divisible by 3. This is my alphabet set. As you know, we can write down our languages, the strings in the language like this. So this should be easier for you. Now next, pumping so I'm trying to apply pumping lemma to this language, which is a regular language and it's also an infinite language. Here is the DFA for this language. So we can see that the number of states in this is 3. So the value of P becomes equals to 3. Now to satisfy pumping lemma, we need to show that if you pick any string from this language whose size is greater than or equals to P, which is 3. So if you pick any string from this language whose size is greater than or equals to 3. So basically these strings or these strings or these strings. So for all of these strings, your 3 conditions which we talked about should hold, and you need it to prove for each of these strings. So you can actually go on and generalize it and prove that you can do it for each of these strings. In this case, it is easier. Let's work with an example first, then we'll talk about all the strings. So I'm just picking one string out of these. This is the string we pick, ABB, BBA. Just give me a second. Yeah. So this is the string ABB, BBA, which we have picked. Its size is 6. Which is greater than or equals to 3, so it's a valid candidate. Next, so as of now I am concentrating on this particular string, but to satisfy pumping lemma you should take every possible string of size greater than equals to 3 and prove that it satisfies your pumping lemma. Now how do you do it for one particular string? We are talking about that here. So we take this string here. Now next what we do, so there are these 3 conditions for pumping lemma. So the first 2 conditions, they are used for decomposing your string. So you can decompose this string in x, y, z based on these 2 conditions, that your y shouldn't be empty and mode xy should be less than or equals to 3. So I have shown you all the possible decompositions here. There are 3 possible decompositions. So the pumping lemma says that there exists one decomposition which satisfies this last condition. So here all the decompositions need not satisfy the last condition. Even if one of them does, your work is done. Let's look at this last decomposition first. So this is AB is x, and then B is y, and then BBA is z. So now x, y, I, z should belong to L for I equals to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I just start with I equals to 0. As soon as I put I equals to 0, the string becomes AB, BBA, whose length is 5 and it does not belong to the language. Hence the condition fails. The pumping lemma fails in the case of this particular decomposition. If we talk about this second decomposition, the same thing happens. If we take this portion, if we take I to be equal to 0, this portion is lost and you just get A, B, B, A, whose length is 4 and does not belong to the language. So it also failed right away for I equals to 0. This one also failed for I equals to 0. So we are left with one decomposition here where the value of y is ABB, and now you can see here, if I place I equals to 0, the string becomes BBA, which is in the language. Y equals to 1, anyhow it will belong to the language. Y equals to 2, ABB repeats itself and it belongs to the language. So if you put any value of I, in this case it will belong to the language. So this particular decomposition does your work, and hence for this string you can say that pumping lemma holds but overall, to prove that your pumping lemma should hold, you should prove it for every single string. How do you do it for every single string? Let's try to see. So you can use some mathematics here to prove it. So we know that the value of P is 3 and the string which I am going to pick. So I need to prove that the pumping lemma holds for every string which has a size greater than or equals to 3. So I am now generalizing my proof. So I am saying that for all the strings which have size greater than or equals to 3, I am picking all those strings. Now I want to show you that for all those strings you have the decompositions, you have at least one decomposition into x and y such that mod y is greater than or equals to 1 and mod xy is less than or equals to 3. So how can I do such decomposition? I say that whatever is the string whose length is greater than or equals to 3, you just make the value of x to be, you make x to be empty. So x can anyhow be made empty. I make x as empty. What do I do next? I place the next 3 symbols into y. I can do that because mod xy is less than or equals to 3. So what I am doing is I am making mod xy equals to 3. So take next. So if this is my string, this string can be very big, it can be of infinite length as well. So I am giving you a generalized solution. So I am saying that x is here which is empty, and then you take these next 3 symbols in y and whatever is remaining you take that into z. So this is the way how I am going to decompose any string in this language whose length is greater than or equals to 3. Now for such a decomposition of any string, you see, if you see x, y, I, z will always belong to the language for all values of I. Why? Because first of all we know that this string is in the language. So together I can say that y, so this portion, the length of y plus this length of z, right, is a multiple of 3. Since y is exactly 3, mod z is a multiple of 3 as well. So if when I talk about I equals to 0, what remains in the language is only this z part, and mod z is a multiple of 3. Hence it's in your language. If I take I equals to 1, then the length of the string becomes mod y plus mod z, which is a multiple of 3. If I take I equals to 2, it becomes 2 mod y plus mod z. So mod y is a multiple of 3 and mod z is a multiple of 3. So I have established that for every possible value of I, all the strings x, y, I, z, they are in the language. Hence I have proven that this language is regular. So let me just recap it. So you should see that while satisfying pumping lemma, you have to prove that the pumping lemma holds for all the strings whose length is greater than or equals to p. For all these strings, you should show that there exists at least one decomposition. So if you show that there is at least, I needn't decompose it into all the possible ways. There should exist only one decomposition, at least one decomposition, such that mod xy is your less than equals to p, mod y is greater than equals to 1. This decomposition for all values of I should satisfy the condition x, y, I, z should belong to L. So with this example, I have just shown you pumping lemma into practice, that if a language is regular, as the one we have taken in this case, your pumping lemma is satisfied, right? And we have done it by after making the finite automata. There's one more thing I wanted to discuss. So let's clarify the case we talked about the previous video, how the pumping lemma is satisfied in case I have a finite language. I want to discuss that again so that it becomes clear. Assume that I have a finite language which has these strings AB, BA, BAB, and let's say AAA. If we apply exactly the same procedure here, first of all we'll try to make a finite automata for this machine, which will look something like this. So your AB is accepted, and then your BA is also accepted, and your BAB is also accepted. And then if I talk about AAA, that is also accepted. I'm sorry, I made two transitions for A. So this is A. If I give one more A here, I come here, and give one more A here, I come here. So we should have all the transitions defined. So from this state we have for A and B, for this state we have for A and B, state we have for A. If I give a B after this, I go here. If I give a B after this, we go here. If I give an A after this, we go here. So this is a finite state automata. Now if you look at the value of P in this case, it's going to be 7. You can actually go on and prove that as we discussed previously. If you want to look at the number of states in a finite automata for a finite regular language, the number of states is always going to be greater than the length of W max, that is maximum sized string plus 1. It's always going to be greater than or equals to this value. So in this case P turns out to be 7. Now proving pumping lemma, we need to show that for all the strings of length greater than or equals to 7, all those conditions are satisfied. Then you end up proving pumping lemma. So in this case trivially that condition holds, because our maximum string length is 3. I do not have a string which is having a length greater than or equals to 7, so I need not prove anything. So that's how pumping lemma holds for finite languages. We should also see one thing here. When we are proving this pumping lemma for our regular languages for which we can make an automata, it was easy for us proving, right? What will you do if we are asked to prove the pumping lemma for a language whose finite state automata we don't know how to make, right? So we have said that any language which is regular satisfying pumping lemma, right? So if I can show that a pumping lemma is not satisfied for a language, so the language is not regular. We do that by contradicting the pumping lemma, and there's a problem there. So for contradicting the pumping lemma, we first of all we assume that the given language is regular, and if the given language is regular, we should have a finite automata. But we already know that if this language is not regular, I cannot make a finite automata. So there is some problem here. So we'll discuss it in the next video. How do we cope up with such a situation? If you didn't understand this last part, don't worry, we'll take it afresh in the next video.